the perfect fight.
Yeah, you were exactly right.
This is the perfect fight.
Yeah.
I cannot pick a more perfect opponent for Jake Paul.
The Ben Askren fight is confirmed?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
April, sometime in April.
17th, maybe, or
17th
something?
sounds right.
Something like that.
April
But
17th.
April 17th. The only way it could be a little slightly bit more perfect is if Ben Askren was black. That's the only way.
Wait, why?
A racial component in a fight always piques
Yeah,
interest,
it
and I
does.
think
You
that
think so?
the highest selling fight I think in
Absolutely.
history before recent was Mike Tyson versus some like white stiff.
Peter
Really?
McNeely or whatever the fuck he
Was
knocked
it
out in like
him?
90 seconds, maybe? I don't know.
No, I think there was another guy. I'm forgetting who it is. But I mean, obviously, I think Floyd has surpassed
Floyd and
that,
Conor.
and also Oscar De La Hoya. But like Floyd, Conor, Oscar De La Hoya, Mayweather. Anytime you have like
Interesting.
competing countries or competing like competing races, but like there's a racial component there. It just ups the stakes of everything.
Yeah.
It's no different than like porn, right? Black guy smashes out white girl. You're like, ooh, it's a little different
Right.
when it's a black guy fucking
Yeah,
his white
and
girl.
I noticed like the underdog, the people of that race think they can win. Like Conor fans, these white guys really thought Conor could beat Floyd in a boxing match.
Yeah.
And Nate Robinson, black people really were like, nah, he can knock this white boy the fuck out.
Yeah.
I can't speak for black people. Al, you're going to have to.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I say this? You wouldn't mind if Jake Paul got fucked up by a black dude? Or you don't care at all?
I mean,
Is there a little payback?
Nah,
need that back,
it's
yo.
not like payback like for slavery or shit like that.
No,
Not
no,
for
for
slavery.
Nate Robinson,
Not
dog.
for slavery, but like,
Oh, for beating up Nate? Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, my bad. I
Yeah,
took
what?
that the wrong way.
Like Jake Paul's responsible
Yeah.
for the triangle slave trade?
Yeah.
No.
I do
mean,
blame him a
like,
little.
There are certain people that certain black people that operate in that way. It's like, oh, they just want to see whites get beat up, or they find it more funny when bad things happen to white people.
Yeah, the
because
knockout
of-
game.
Yeah, because of
Nobody
our
called that
history
racist.
or whatever.
Right? The knockout game is just like old white guys just getting punched in their face.
yeah.
They would punch black people too.
No.
They would punch black people too.
Really?
I'm just gonna say that.
Why,
Yeah.
you did it?
No.
Your friends did it? You just punched a fucking random old black guy?
But Ben Askren, is he nice?
Hold on. Al,
Is he nice though?
you just punched a random
No.
black person?
No,
Why would you do that, bro?
son. I'm not speaking on stuff.
What?
I'll just say that. I'll just say that I didn't do it.
Oh, one of your friends did it.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
Why would he do that? Did he know the guy?
You're a fucking asshole. Ben Askren is nice.
No, Ben Askren's
Nah,
not nice.
I don't want to talk about this shit.
You know
man.
who's not nice? A motherfucking friend of yours and knocking out
Yeah,
all white
just,
people.
Yeah,
just
that's
beating
why-
up blacks.
Oh,
I don't
all
hang
black
out-
people, yo.
That's why I don't hang out with certain people anymore.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, then don't call him your friend. What a real jerk that guy is.
Yeah, that guy's a real
Hooligan.
scumbag.
What a scumbag
What a
he is.
degenerate.
Yeah.
It is.
Anyway, Ben Askren, perfect opponent. I mean, you could not pick a more perfect opponent. He is a great. I'll tell you why. He's a great online troll.
Mm-hmm.
He's articulate enough to like get into banter. He represents a completely different demographic than Jake Paul. So now you're not both within the same demo. You're taking guys that have no clue who Jake Paul is or don't give a fuck about Jake Paul, and you're bringing them into the fight, right? He can't box.
Yep.
He's an elite athlete that was in the UFC, was a champion in one championship, which is like the Asian version of UFC. Elite. Cannot box. He was a wrestler. That's what he was known for doing. Can't box. Like, there are videos of him striking that are hilarious. Jake Paul has a chance.
Jake Paul's no dummy.
He has a fucking
He
chance.
chose this guy on purpose, I think.
100%. Now, the question is, I don't think a Ben Askren's stamina is going to go away in the way that like Nate Robinson did. And also Ben Askren has been hit really hard by the hardest punchers in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's going to sting the same way when Jake Paul hits him. Granted, Jake Paul probably has, 15, 20 pounds on him or something
I don't know.
like that.
I actually just looked. I think they're same weight class.
I think, wasn't Ben Askren fighting at 170?
Ben Askren is 170, and according to this, Jake Paul is 165.
No. I think he weighed at 191 for the last fight versus Nate Robinson.
Maybe I got.
Look at what he weighted for Nate Robinson. But still, there's a little weight discrepancy. But you have a famous person with a different demographic, a real fight pedigree, right?
Mm-hmm.
A UFC fighter. If you want to grab Conor, knocking out another UFC fighter with a better record than Conor McGregor, we all know it's absurd. But the average casual fan is going to go, whoa, he just knocked out that UFC guy.
Yeah.
He could probably knock out all these UFC guys.
Right, yeah. He fought a cruiserweight and it was 189.
189.
Yeah.
Right. So he's got 20 pounds on Askren in terms of like what Askren's cut to make weight would be. It's significant in boxing. But still, it's going to be a different fight. I think Askren will be able to dodge punches a little bit better, and he's not going to, his gas tank isn't going to go away like Nate Robinson, so it's not going to be as like sad or whatever. But I don't see Ben Askren having the hands to hurt Jake Paul at all. The only way I can see him winning is if Jake gets tired and then Ben just kind of lays it on sloppily.
Yeah.
But they picked the perfect opponent.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. The only other fight that I would like floated in my mind that I'd be curious to know about is if he were to fight like Ronda Rousey.
Who?
Oh, yeah.
Who?
You know what I mean?
Who?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
I mean, just the guy versus girl thing is just crazy.
Yeah.
But he
Like-
would murder Ronda Rousey.
What, Amanda Nunes?
Amanda Nunes would be different. I think he's still.
Like if he fights a champion, like UFC fighter,
Ronda just can't box, but like.
like does that help his stock at all, or is that
No,
like a write off because it goes, oh no, it was a girl? Doesn't
Yeah, I
count.
think
That's a carnival. That's a fucking carnival. I mean, I'm buying. All right, guys, we can take a break for a second because I need you to stop smoking cigarettes. Okay? There are so many better nicotine alternatives out there. You're absolutely ridiculous if you're smoking cigarettes. Now, I know some of you were watching my story at our super spreader event the other day, and I was smoking bogeys, and I regretted it. The next day, I swear to God, I wish I had a nicotine alternative. And if you're going to do it, you got to use Lucy. There is no question. Lucy, okay? I'm telling you, they're researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not fucking patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, pomegranate. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually tastes delicious. Okay, so you get your nicotine and you get that nice sweet treat, baby. That's right. And look, it's convenient, it's discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, or even in the gym. It doesn't matter. It's 2020. You got to get rid of those cigarettes, okay? Unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is a no-brainer, okay? The real deal. You get the subscription to Lucy, and it comes directly to your door each month. So it is that simple, all right? Handle your nicotine the smart, responsible way. Now listen, Flagrant 2 listeners, all you have to do is go to lucy.co and use the promo code Flagrant to get 20% off all products, including the gum and the lozenges. Go do that right now. It's lucy.co, promo code Flagrant. Now let's get back to this. I'm buying 100%.
So I
Not
get what
even
you
a
said
question.
that this is a good pick for him because he can actually probably win. I just don't think this is a good pick for what he's trying to do. He's trying to turn celebrity boxing into like a big universal thing.
Yep.
And I think that was done with the Nate Robinson versus the Pauls, because it's like two different worlds, but also it's like pop culture versus like this internet pop culture. So
Yeah.
it brought those two worlds together.
Yeah.
This
But
right
he's
here,
legitimizing.
I don't know Askren.
Askren is going to bring all the UFC fans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's going to bring UFC and it'll bring Jake's fans, but it's not going to bring pop culture.
I think
a
that
little bit.
Jake is really involved in pop culture now, especially after knocking out Nate. Like when this fight was announced, it's on Academics feed, it's on Hot New Hip Hop's feed. It's like it's all over the place. Like he's kind of transcended into pop culture now after that knockout. I mean, there was a meme based on it. Like people know who he is, and then Askren's going to bring all the UFC fans that just want to see this guy get knocked the fuck out, and then all the boxing fans that want to see him lose because they think that he's an insult to boxing. They're going to get involved in this shit.
I think it is a good thing for what he's trying to do, because I don't think he's trying to just go celebrity boxing.
No, he wants to actually fight fighters.
I think he wants to do the biggest fight he can possibly do.
Yes.
He
I
needs
think
to
he wants
legitimize
to fight.
himself as a fighter.
Yeah.
Also, what celebrity could he not fuck up and then make
Yeah.
celebrity
He
boxing
wants
kind of
Conor
a common
McGregor.
thing?
He wants Floyd Mayweather. He wants Manny Pacquiao. He wants the biggest fighter he can get. In order to get there, he's got to take down an actual fighter.
Askren
don't want
is
Floyd.
the safest fighter that he could fight in a boxing match. In an actual UFC fight, he's out of his mind fucking crazy. Askren's a beast of a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
Gets his hands on you, it's over, like Khabib in a lot of ways, right? But I'm telling you, in a boxing match, you can put up videos of him boxing. There's videos all over YouTube of him like trying to strike.
Yeah, slow.
Not pretty.
Yeah.
Not pretty at all. So he has the perfect fight sport athlete in front of him to knock out potentially.
You know who the biggest winner in all this is?
Who?
Conor. We touched on this yesterday, last episode, but Conor is the guy that will win off of this because this legitimizes Jake Paul that much more, and then makes that fight, Conor and Jake Paul, that much more legitimate.
Yeah.
And now you get to fight this kid. I'm a little curious if he'd fuck him up with the weight difference, like
Who?
Jake Paul versus Conor, boxing match pure.
I think Jake would have to come down a little bit.
Okay.
But if Conor asks him to come down, Conor looks pussy. Like, you can't say that he's not a fighter. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just a YouTube kid. And then you're like, let's have a catch weight. Catch weight implies you're scared if he comes in at his actual weight.
Yeah. So if there's a third, you said Conor's the best at 155. If Jake Paul is 191, that's a 36-pound difference.
I think Conor's best at 145. He just can't make that anymore.
Yeah.
155? I don't think so, man. I think it might be over for him over there. But still, there's a big fucking difference.
Yeah.
He fought Nate, I think, at 170. But that's way too big for him. But anyway, I think that if Askren gets knocked out by Jake Paul, there is a real fight, Conor versus Jake Paul.
Now, my question is, why would Ben Askren take this fight?
He just wants money.
Relevance also.
Just money relevance?
I think he's looking at like an easy check.
Does he think he's going to lose?
No chance.
He thinks he's going to win.
Yeah. But also, he wrestled Jordan Burroughs, who's like the top wrestler in the U.S., and they did like a wrestling-only tournament in Madison Square Garden. And like Askren brought hype to that event, and he just got mauled by Burroughs. And Askren is like an amazing wrestler in MMA, but in just wrestling, I guess he's not as good as Burroughs. But he went into that fight knowing he was going to lose. But he was like, this is a cool event. It's going to be big. I'm sure I'm going to get a nice check off of it. I'm not going to hurt myself. I can still fight in the UFC. I'm not going to be bloody. Why don't we get it? Askren's a kind of like a sophisticated dude in that regard.
Yeah.
Like
Question. Do you think Jake Paul cares more about gaining the respect of being recognized as a real boxer, or his importance is to have the biggest pay-per-view boxing matches?
addicted to attention.
So he doesn't care about the respect.
It could be boxing. It could be Formula One.
So
I
then-
think he
could be
likes
hack and
boxing,
sack.
though.
But then
I think he likes
fight.
boxing because it serves
You can fight
the
bigger
type of
celebrities.
attention that he wants. What's that?
I think you can fight bigger celebrities and get a bigger payday.
Those celebs ain't fighting now. After they saw what happened to Nate, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, what's
to
a
get one of
lev? Like,
those.
you'd have to get a very specific type of crazy athlete that would be down to do it.
There were some basketball players I remember after and that were
Basketball
offering
players
that.
look so stupid when they try to box, bro. Have you seen like Carmelo box?
We
These are the
saw
most
Larry Johnson
coordinated-
and Alonzo Mourning slapping each other.
Yeah, it is amazing how the most coordinated and probably gifted athletes on the planet that are basketball players. Some might say football, but
Yeah,
still are the most pathetic looking boxers that you will ever see in your entire life. I mean, how many knockouts will we have in the NBA? You have fights all the time. Ron Artest punched a guy in the stands, couldn't even knock him out. Ron Artest is 6'9", right? 240 pounds, something like that. Punched this 5'10" Mexican in the face, and the guy just stared at him afterwards. And then Jermaine O'Neal had to come flying out from the side of the frame. Do you remember that? It was Jermaine O'Neal that knocks him out when he wasn't even looking.
Yeah.
Like your friend. Just play knockout with Mexicans, dude. I'm just saying, it is.
But I remember Antonio Tarver called him out.
But Antonio Tarver is a professional boxer.
But I think that would get eyes.
Jake Paul ain't doing that. He can get fucked up.
He knows what time it is. Because Jake does know what time it is when it comes to professional boxers. What he's trying to do is take advantage of the difference between an MMA fighter's boxing ability and a boxer's boxing ability.
He's lily padding. He's cool to lose, but he only wants to lose in the biggest fight.
Yes.
That's
and
the thing.
But he also knows that the general public doesn't realize that there's a vast difference between a boxer's boxing ability and an MMA fighter's boxing ability. They both see them as like striking sports where you can knock someone out. So they're like, oh yeah, that's
Fights
the
is
same.
fights. There's a soft spot that he found, which is these guys who can box will come box, and I can box.
And the public thinks they're the same.
Yes.
So
And
now
nobody knows
I
the
look
difference.
like I'm a legit fighter.
Yeah.
But reality is I'm training in this one discipline that is vastly different from MMA.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you even want to talk about like I've done a little training in kind of MMA, right? Like I do kickboxing, but they teach you to block as if it's MMA. So in boxing, like when you have those big gloves, right? Like you have 8 ounces or the small. Usually when I would spar at 16 ounces. when somebody throws a hook at you, you just cover up with the glove. That glove covers your entire face.
Yeah.
So even if they land the punch on your face, you have 16 ounces of cushion. It's like putting a pillow on the side of your head. Someone's punching you.
Yeah.
Right? 4-ounce little MMA gloves, you can't block with your hand on your face because that thing is getting through. That's hitting you on the head, the back of the temple or something. So a lot of the guys kind of are extending their arms a bit or just use their whole forearm to cover their face. You ever seen people like kind of shell up like that? I'm just saying, it's really smart what they're doing. It's really smart. And eventually the public will realize, oh, these MMA guys aren't elite boxers.
Yeah.
They're elite MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Andrew is good at basketball, and then he challenges a fucking tennis player like whoever, Roger Federer, to a basketball.
An NBA fucking player.
Yeah, we're a lot of idiots. Yeah, a lot of
Most
idiots will
people
be
don't
like,
know he got
whatever,
1
that's
foot.
an athlete. That's one of the greatest athletes ever. He'll fuck up Andrew.
Yeah.
They don't realize how specialized basketball is, and this guy's good at that one thing.
That's it. You was early on that, son.
I started it,
That
bro.
should have been millions. That should have been a $50 million game right there.
Son, it's so funny how that blew up on YouTube and had nothing on TMZ. I remember like looking at the TMZ story, like you know how like TMZ will do those links and it will show you like how many comments are below.
Yeah.
And there were 0 comments. And I was like, did we turn off comments? Like what? Like what's is this that popping?
Censorship, dude.
Dude, they really try to censor me, bro.
They're trying to censor the kid, yo.
What up, people? You just watched a clip from our weekly Patreon episode. You can support the Flagrancy. You can support this unapologetic, unfiltered, uncensored content that we drop weekly on our Patreon at patreon.com/flagrant2. You want to go join? You should, because it's the top 10 Patreon in the fucking world. That's right, for good reason. Go check out why at patreon.com/flagrant2. All right, peace.